New Shoe Sunday. Good morning, YouTube. What's up, everybody? I hope you're safe and healthy and happy and doing okay. I just filmed my recap video and now I am heading right into filming the first run impressions of the Rincon 3. I'm not even gonna disguise it like I am filming this on a different day. I didn't change shirts. Here we are. Oh, I have hair in my mouth. I did turn the back light off though. See how it looks. We'll see. Anyway, hi, yeah. So today we're gonna be talking about my first run impressions of the Hoka One One Rincon 3. A shoe that I have been heavily anticipating since I saw it on their website. They have a lot of cool colors with this shoe, which is something that always catches my eye initially. This one is not the coolest, but there are some other cool ones. But mostly today we're going to talk about how the shoe feels, how it might be different from the previous version, and my take on it. Spoiler alert, it's a positive opinion. I like it. The Rincon has always been a pretty cool shoe to me in Hoka's lineup because it sort of sits in between these two categories of like a tempo day, potential race day shoe, and a daily trainer. And the reasoning for that is because you do have an ample amount of cushioning underfoot, but you have it in a very lightweight package, which is something that I think we all really like. At least I like it. The Rincon to me has always been pretty reminiscent of the first version of the Clifton in some regards, in some aspects, which is probably why I am particularly fond of it, because I do love that shoe. There are a couple changes with this version, but all in all, it is pretty damn solid and very similar to the Rincon 2 in my opinion. So let's play the run footage, let's get on with all of that, and then we will talk all about the Hoka Rincon 3. Before I get started today, I do want to let you guys know that this shoe was sent to me by Hoka. However, they are not paying me to make this video. They can't tell me what to say. And all of my opinions, as always, and how it always will be, are my own. The Hoka Rincon 3 is 6.2 ounces for a women's size 7, but for my size 10.5 women's, the shoe comes out to, I don't have my scale down here, so I will put the number down below. Either way, I know it's going to be light. It has a 5mm drop, but the numbers are different for men and women. For women, it's 26mm in the heel and 21 in the forefoot. And for men, it's 29 in the heel and 24 in the forefoot. I'm not totally sure why it is different, but it is, and it's interesting. I don't know. Now, for me, the Hoka Rincon 3 is true to size, but I will tell you that I do recommend trying this shoe on in a store if possible for you, because the Hoka sizing for some people can be a little strange. As always, let's start with the upper. Hoka has a brand new construction for this upper. It's a vented mesh. It is pretty breathable. Looking at the outside of the midfoot, you really don't see a ton in terms of overlays. However, inside the shoe, in the midfoot, there are some overlays to just give it a little bit more structure. Heading to the back of the shoe, you have a somewhat sturdy heel counter and a very different approach to a pull tab. So, gotta be honest, the first time I saw this pull tab, I was like, that's gonna rip off immediately. But, you know, I've really like tried hard. I've tried to rip this off just to prove a point, and I can't do it. So unless you're Hulk Hogan, I think you're gonna be okay with this pull tab. Is it strange? Sure, but do I kind of like it? Yeah. Okay, so yes, we have a brand new upper here, vented mesh. Apparently this construction of the upper does bring the weight down a bit from the second version, about like 0.3 ounces, Hoka's saying. So that's cool. We love to see a weight saver when brands can do that. It's a big thumbs up. It's very comfortable. Like I said, I do find it to be pretty breathable. And I think that this version, whatever they did here, just hugs my foot a little bit better. In the very first version of the Rincon, I thought that it was a bit shallow and kind of hugged my foot too much in that midfoot area. And then in the second version, I kind of felt like it was a little too structured and didn't conform to my foot as well. Here, I think they nailed it. I have a really good fit in the midfoot, nice and snug. And if we turn the shoe this way, I do think that there's enough room here in the toe box to feel comfortable. Again, I say this every video. I have a narrow foot though, so just be aware of that. But I don't think that it's particularly narrow. I think that a lot of different foot types will be okay here. We have a nice amount of cushioning around the ankle collar of the shoe. Very, very comfortable. But one thing that I did not like about this upper, and I'm not sure why they made this change, was the tongue. First problem is that it doesn't come up high enough. Not that I want it to, you know, be touching my shin, but I do kind of want it to stick out of the shoe just a bit, just to keep me protected. I think it sits a little too far in there. Don't really love that. It's not gusseted, another thing I'm not crazy about. It does remind me a bit of the Clifton 1, but I didn't like it in the Clifton 1 and I don't really like it here. And that being said, I've had no hot spots, blisters, or irritation in the Rincon 3, so I am pleased with the upper as a whole. I just don't really like the tongue. Now, let's talk about the midsole. Hoka is using their compression molded EVA material for the midsole of the Rincon 3. There's no plates, no special technology, no gimmicks here. We just have a nice solid amount of foam. The Rincon 3 also has an early stage meta rocker, which is designed for efficient turnover through each foot strike. When I first put the shoe on my foot, laced it up that very first time, I felt like this was firm. And on my first run that I did in the shoe, which was a 6.3 mile run yesterday, I did feel like in that first mile, it was a bit firm. However, during the course of that run, it absolutely opened up, probably 1.5 miles, 2 miles. And I did feel that give and that cushion and a little bit of squish that Hoka's are known for. The Rincon has never been Hoka's most cushioned shoe, so I'm not coming at it from a standpoint thinking this has to be marshmallow soft. That's not what the Rincon is, but it did feel a little bit firmer than I had anticipated. So the run that I did yesterday, again, was 6.3 miles, and it was supposed to be like easy pace for me, which is like 8:53 a mile to about 9:15 a mile, 9:10 a mile. And while I went a tiny bit faster yesterday, I felt like this shoe performed beautifully for that pace. You know, the great thing about the Rincon is that it can perform nice at the easier paces that you're doing during your training cycles, but it can also perform beautifully at tempo pace, which is what I did today. So today's run, I did 8 miles, 1 warm up, 1 cool down, at an easier pace, and then I did a 45-minute tempo on the treadmill, Kill Me Now, at a 7:35 pace. And I felt like this shoe performed fantastically. I have nothing bad to say about it at all. I didn't need the carbon plate, and it had just the right amount of cushion that I didn't feel like I was sinking down into the shoe and losing energy return. But I did feel protected and not like I was pounding on the treadmill and breaking all the bones in my foot. It's just extremely versatile. It really can do X and it really can do Y, and it can also do a little bit of Z. And no, this foam isn't super exciting. It's not carbon plate infused, and it's not this P-Bax based material. It's just EVA. But I think sometimes shoes like this help us to be reminded that we don't always need all that technology to go fast and to hit those times that we want to hit. In fact, the early stage meta rocker in this shoe really does help to get you up on your toes and into your next stride with ease, and you feel that rocker forward. In some Hokas recently, I haven't necessarily felt that rocker. Here in the Rincon 3, I definitely do. Another thing I've always liked about Rincons and what I feel in this shoe is that it's sort of like sitting in a bucket seat. This has been a negative and a positive for me over the years, but in the positive way, it kind of feels like you're sitting in a bucket seat and it's a little bit more of an aggressive, faster feel than something like the Clifton or the Bondi, where you're just kind of like sitting on that foam. Here it feels like you're kind of wrapped around, like locked in, like a sports car. It just feels so light and smooth and balanced and protective, and it kind of makes me want to try this on my 20-mile run on Sunday. I kind of do. And if I do, I'll pin it down below in a comment that I did and how it felt. But yeah, I really do like it that much. It's simple, but it gets the job done pretty damn well. You know me though, I gotta point out the negative. And one of those negatives for the Rincon has always been the durability. I don't know how well this is gonna hold up. I'm guessing it's gonna be pretty similar to the previous versions in terms of durability. Nothing here screams to me more durable, which is kind of a negative. However, there is an area where they improve the durability of the shoe, and that is the outsole. When I was reviewing the Rincon 2 last year, nothing drove me crazier than the fact that they kept the outsole pattern exactly the same as the first version when so many customers had had issues with durability in the outsole. So I was super honest about how disappointed I was by that. And it looks like in the third version, they have fixed it. Okay, so yes, we have way more rubber here in the forefoot. We do still have some exposed EVA material in that midfoot, but we do have that in most Hokas, and we have some blown rubber on the heel. Now, what I will say is that while this will be more durable, more rubber equals more durability, it's science. Yes, this exposed EVA is gonna rip up, it is gonna tear up, and it's just something that you're gonna have to accept with this shoe. Does that mean that it's not going to last as long as some of your other shoes with more rubber on the outsoles? Maybe, probably. But something to think about here is that where this sacrifices some durability, we're saving on weight. The traction on this rubber is pretty good. I took it out on 2 dry days. Well, actually one of them was on the treadmill, but I didn't have any issues with the terrain that I ran on, you know, sand, dirt, gravel, grass, pavement, the whole 9 yards. And I didn't feel like I was slipping and sliding at any point, so big thumbs up. It also appears to me that they changed the pattern of the exposed EVA, and maybe that'll help with durability. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. The Hoka Rincon 3 is $114.95 on runningwarehouse.com, which I think is an absolute steal for this shoe. This shoe can truly do it all. It can do your easier runs, your longer runs, your tempo day runs, and it can even race. If that's what you wanted to do, it can do that. If you're interested in picking up a pair of the Rincon 3, just go to the link in the description of this video, click that link and pick up your own pair. Keep in mind it is an affiliate link with Running Warehouse, which doesn't mean much for you, it just helps out my channel so I can run in these shoes and tell you how much I love them. So yeah, if you haven't gathered, I love them. I've gone through this entire training cycle trying to find the right shoe, going from shoes that I thought I loved that just didn't really pan out well, all these different carbon shoes, this, that, and the other thing, and maybe this is the answer. I'm not saying it is the answer yet, let's not get crazy, but maybe it is. Maybe it needs to be on a long run to really figure it out. I think if you're a runner who's looking for one shoe to kind of do it all, one shoe to rule them all, then you should really look no further because this is that. Well, that concludes my first run impressions of the Hoka Rincon 3. If you enjoyed this video, please like it down below and subscribe. And when you're done with all that, hit the notifications bell so you can find out every time I upload a new video. This fade is kind of sweet though. I'm digging this a lot. I have some more videos for you next week, but in the meantime, get out there, get on the grind, and don't forget to run like hell. See you next time. We filmed the recap. We filmed the Rincon video. Now do you want a greenie? Do you want a greenie? What do you think? Want a greenie now? Oh, okay. All right, let's go. Let's go get a greenie. Come on.